Hello everyone, how's it going? I'm angry, you guys. I filmed a 20-minute intro and didn't realize that I did not click the record button. My name is Elias and welcome back to my channel. It's been a while, I feel like, since I've last seen you guys. I did not mean to not upload for a whole month, but you know, life got in the way, mental health and all that. So I say this every year without fail, regurgitating, reiterating. This year has flown by so much faster than any other previous years. It's kind of crazy. I feel like for next year in 2025, I am cautiously optimistic because there are a few milestones which I will be hitting next year. One of them being that I turn 30. Yeah, in a couple months. So if you had asked me like a couple months into 2024 when I turned 29, how I felt about, you know, being in the last year of my 20s and hitting the big 3-0, I would have, you know, told you that I was a little wary, a little nervous, skeptical of all the answers that people say, oh yeah, you find yourself more in your 30s or whatever. But you know, I've learned to accept it and embrace it. I feel like, you know, everyone, it's the whole process, aging and all that. We do what we can. So in this video, I will be talking about some of the books that I hope to read and some of my goals to hit before 2025, the end of the year, essentially. And I guess like a little tentative plan for my channel would be, you'll see all like the end of the year videos, like best and worst books, most anticipated, all the books that I read, bookish stats and all that in 2025 in January, because I want to give myself the full amount of time, the allotted time that I have in December to hopefully finish some of the books that I'm going to be talking about. So I realize I only really do like 2 tags throughout the entire year, and I love them, the mid-year and the end of the year TBR tag, which is created by my good friend Ariel Bissett. I'll have her channel linked down below. So yeah, I just wanted to quickly go over some of my bookish goals for December TBR. But before we get further into the video, I would like to thank today's video sponsor, none other than Book of the Month. You already know them, you already love them. But if you have been living under a rock and still in the closet, you would know that Book of the Month is a book subscription service where every month they send their signature blue box, just like this, with your selected book of choice. What I love about Book of the Month is you can discover new stories, debut authors. Essentially, their whole team goes through hundreds of different titles of books so that you can spend more time reading, because their main mission is to bring the new best fiction forward. They have the best prices for any new hardcover fiction book out there. For this month, I have a special code that you can use, which you can get your first book for only $5. What's really special about this month is that you also get a fun holiday themed sticker if you are a new member. You can use my code linked down below to get your first book for only $5 with tinsel. All right, let's talk about the books that I chose. First one up is Homeseeking. It essentially follows the lives of these 2 people who meet up again when they're a lot older, you know, in life, at an Asian grocery store. Specifically, I know this Asian grocery store because it's sprinkled throughout, you know, California, but it's 99 Ranch Market. And so I thought it was really fun and nostalgic, you know, reading about that particular grocery store, because I grew up just going to that grocery store my entire life. A love story, rekindling of romance and life and relationships. I do hope one day I also find the love of my life, you know, browsing in the aisles of a 99 Ranch Market. So there you go. This one I'm really excited for. It's called The 13th Child, and essentially follows the 13th child, the goddaughter of death, if you will. She has this uncanny ability to tell when someone is about to die. I think this is also a reimagining of the grim fairy tale Godfather of Death or something like that. So really intrigued. There you have it, folks. Everything will be linked down below. Don't forget to use code TINSEL to get your first book for only $5. And thank you once again to Book of the Month for sponsoring today's video. Right, so we're gonna go ahead and get straight into the tag. Are there any books you started this year that you still need to finish? Oh my gosh, that's basically my entire life. My entire life of TBRs, adding books, starting them, never finishing them. But if I had to list 3, it would be the new spin-off series from the Foxhole Court, the first book being the Sunshine Court. So I actually started like the first few pages on my Kindle before I realized that I will be reading and finishing this on a plane to France. And I was like, I don't know if I wanted to do that, because I wanted to save this book for like a vlog where I can actually sit down, talk about the characters and like different segments and segues and all that. I couldn't really do it on a plane. You know, if I filmed myself reading on a plane, I feel like it would be kind of hard, you know, to get all my thoughts jotted down and everything. So I held back. I put it down, did not pick it up. I think I finished Oathbringer or Words of Radiance by Brandon Sanderson instead. I would definitely, hopefully, be able to read and finish the Sunshine Courts before the year ends, because I do know that the sequel already comes out like next year in like the first few months of 2025. I will be doing a reading vlog for the Sunshine Courts as well, so stay tuned. Another book that I'm keen on finishing that I have already started is Our Wives Under the Sea by Julia Armfield. So this one is really special because I got a copy of this particular edition in France. Like, I held off reading it for so long because I was like, you know what, I've heard so many good things about this book. I smell a new favorite, right? In my mind, I have to have this specific edition. Finally have it. It's a lot shorter than I thought it would be, which I'm not complaining, but the writing here so far is exquisite. I've had this book recommended to me so many times based on the books that I read and love. And what's really funny about this one is that I know some people who have completely different tastes of books than me, or similar. Everyone has loved this one. Here's to hoping I'm finding a new favorite in 2024. The main reason why I'm reading this one now is because I'm reading along with my patrons for the Patreon book club in December. Yeah, I am really excited to go over and talk about this book with them and everything, so stay tuned. Another book that I have prematurely started, and I'm only like 50 pages in. I think I started this book kind of early, mid 2024, but that's The Goblin Emperor. This one was good. I feel like I would really enjoy this, but at the time I think there was just something going on with life, and so I put it down, meaning to pick it back up again, but that just never happened, which is okay. This one so far has a really interesting set of characters. The main character, he's very naive in a very endearing type of way. He's giving soft boy vibes, if you will. It's about a goblin emperor whose father and brother are murdered, and he's like next in line for the throne or something like that. With the way that he is, like his mindset is all about making friends everywhere he goes with everyone, right? You have all these assassins, political warfare and everything in here, and you just have this young king who's just like dilly-dallying. But yeah, I'm pretty excited to see where this one takes me. Number 2, do you have autumnal books to transition to the end of the year? So I don't have any specific books, but again, everything good comes in threes. So I chose One Dark Window just because I have seen this book pop up so many times in people's like recommendations lists, specifically autumn and wintry books. I know that it's adult fantasy with some romance, but the romance is not like the forefront and center, which I'm here for. The other book is Boys in the Valley, and this one's really interesting because it's a religious horror. It revolves around a group of boys at a boarding school where their peace and camaraderie is suddenly disrupted by a group of strange, dangerous men, and with these men come this sickness that infiltrates the whole school. And I don't know where I saw this, but I heard it was giving like a little bit of the Raven Boys meets Lord of the Flies or something like that. Really excited for this one. It sounds really dark, really gritty. Not sure if I'll be able to pick it up by the end of the year. But another book I think that would be a good choice for this one would be The 13th Child. I just talked about it. I think it's giving dark, gritty, reimagined fairy tale. So question number 3 is, are there any new releases you're still waiting for? So not really, actually. I feel like all of the books I want to read have come out this year already, but one book that I just released that I know I want to get to someday, Wind and Truth by Brandon Sanderson. This is the 5th book in the Stormlight Archive. I'm sure you've seen and heard this book countless times from other people. I still have yet to make my way through 2 more books before I get to Wind and Truth. So I have yet to get through Rhythm of War. Oh wait, no, I only have to get through Rhythm of War, I think. But there are, I know, like novellas, books in between. Like I know I have to finish the Mistborn arc or whatever, 2 of them, read like a couple other novellas and another standalone. So I'm just like, oh my god, I don't know when I'll get to Wind and Truth. I know that some people have just plowed through the Stormlight Archive, but I've been trying to like read subsequent other books that have either come before or take place later in the series and all that. And so I'm just trying to get like the best reading experience. I had to read Warbreaker before I went into Words of Radiance, I believe, because there is something that happens in Warbreaker that you may or may not have missed when you're reading Words of Radiance because, you know, crossover and everything. So, but Wind and Truth is up there. The other book is The City and Its Uncertain Walls, which is the new Haruki Murakami book. I have yet to read any Murakami books. I was thinking, oh, maybe I should start with the new one, you know, work my way backwards. Just starting off with one of his later books, or, you know, let me know. Should I start off with The City and Its Uncertain Walls, or, I don't know, Norwegian Wood, Kafka on the Shore, and all that. I have read like a novella from him called The Strange Library, and I thought it was okay. So yeah, that is one release. Oh, and the other release is called Small Rain by Gareth Greenwell. I heard the writing is like super poetic. So this one primarily follows a man who is confined to his bed after an induced medical condition in which he struggles to understand what exactly is happening to him, plunged into the dysfunctional American healthcare system Wow, so relatable so far. And from there it says, this is a searching, sweeping novel set at the furthest edges of human experience, where the forces that give life, value, art, money, poetry, music, care are all thrown into sharp relief. Sounds really intimate. I also picked up another book from this author in a used bookstore as well that I'm really excited to get into. But yeah, this one I think just came out like in September or something like that. Okay, number 4. 3 books you need to read before the end of the year. Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin. So a couple of reasons why I'm picking this book up. I have yet to read any of James Baldwin's works. His books are referenced in so many other queer lit, and I feel like, you know what? It's high time I delve and dive into the prestigious works that is James Baldwin. And all I know about this one is that it follows a young man who falls in love with another potential gay man in Paris. Fun fact, I also got this book in Paris as well, so I thought it was very fitting. Oh, I did not realize that the young American man who is visiting Paris has a fiance, T. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay, so really excited to pick this one up. The other book that I'm hoping to read before the end of the year is another queer fiction, and this is Anyone's Ghost by August Thompson. I was really excited to read this because it sounds like it'll be another gut-wrenching time. I feel like the last gut-wrenching book that I read, I don't know actually. I think it might be either Swimming in the Dark, but that was like more beautiful, melancholy. Maybe Lie With Me. I don't know, Lie With Me was very poignant and bittersweet. This one seems like it'll be gut-wrenching and heartbreaking. About these 2 young men who fall in love for the first time and just developing and kindling that, you know, first love between 2 people. I always think that topic of like first love in general is such an interesting topic as someone who has never been in love, you know? So yeah, really excited for this one because you already know if you read the blurb on the back that one of them is already dead. All right, so book number 3, if I had to choose, I think it would be Air by Sabaa Tahir. So this one is a YA fantasy, but it takes place in the same world as the Ember and the Ashes books. If you didn't know, I absolutely adored Ember and the Ashes, like the entire series. I think it's so underrated. They're just hidden gems, honestly. I literally never hear anyone else talking about them. They're just so good, so different from like the other YA fantasy books. I just think that Sabaa Tahir is such a good writer. Like the writing in these books are just so good. So really excited to pick up and read Air. I think it follows completely different characters. I have no idea if any of the old characters will make like an appearance. I did hear you can read Air on its own without going back and reading the other books, but I'm like, why would you do that? That's like reading, I don't know, Return of the King before reading The Two Towers or The Fellowship of the Ring. Is there a book that will still shock you and become a new favorite of the year? Well, here's 3 of them. It could either be Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin, Our Wives Under the Sea, or Anyone's Ghosts. So 3 potential new favorites by 2024. Preferably all of them. I mean, hey, expect to see some of these book titles, you know, in my favorite books of 2024 or of all time. Or they could be the worst books, which I highly doubt, but there you go. Last and not least, what are your reading plans for 2024? Last year, I really fell into like this, not depression exactly, but like this downward spiral regarding my channel. I was like, damn, I don't think people really care what I upload anymore. Like I fell into like this whole, you know, imposter syndrome, really trying to figure things out with myself and my channel. You know, just figuring out life in general. I feel like I didn't really take my channel as seriously. I was like burned out, depressed, going through it. I was really, really going through it. 2024 Ellias, I would say the last half of 2024. Oh, we have beef. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, it was really, really draining just regarding going into my channel this year. Next year, I'm hoping to rebrand a little bit. I'm hoping to at least upload a little bit more, you know, just being in the moment, in the process of creating again. I feel like this year I've been so burned out comparing myself to like so many different other creators and, you know, people in general. You know, I feel like it's high time I stop doing that. You know, you're hitting a milestone and I have to keep telling myself that I'm the one person that can keep me happy, keep going through this and at it. So in 2025, you know, I'm hoping to expand, get out of my comfort zone in creation as well. Hoping to do like video challenges, longer videos. It's like reading books from authors I have yet to read from, like Haruki Murakami, Sally Rooney. Do more vlogs. I feel like I really, really like doing vlogs, you know, just sharing a little bit of my life with you guys and all that. And oh, the big thing, committing to my own TBR and only reading from the books that I own. So another video challenge that I want to do is reading books from my shelves. Actually, I have been pretty good, I feel like, in the last couple of years, not buying an absorbent amount of books or just buying books left and right in general. I feel like I have really slowed down in that aspect. But aside from that, I've been reading a lot from my Kindle. So my Kindle Paperwhite and I, we're like besties. Oh, and I also want to be reading more recommendations. I think I asked you guys like in a community tab like a really long time ago, hey, recommend me your favorite books or books that you love, because I will do a video series where I will be reading books for my subscribers and seeing if you guys have actual taste. So here's to hoping I'll actually accomplish that in 2025. I honestly have only stuck with books that I think that I will love, and I kind of want to stop that, you know, get out of my own comfort zone and read books that other people have recommended. Specifically my friends. Ooh, another exciting thing I really want to do in 2025 is to reread my favorite books. I have such a huge list of favorites now that I'm like questioning myself, do I really consider that book, that specific book, as a favorite? I know for a fact that The Raven Cycle is like my all-time favorite because I have reread each book in that series. I think there's like 4 books, like front to back, at least 2 times. I'm pretty sure it's like 3 rereads now for me. I really want to reread like The Night Circus or The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. I know I said A Little Life was a favorite as well, and that book is super controversial. There's Swimming in the Dark, The Cat Who Saved Books, Pure Nessie. Pure Nessie is another book that I know is another favorite because I have reread the book twice. So just doing like a video challenge where to see if my favorite books have held up, you know, to this day. So, oh, and lastly is discovery. You know, I want to discover new books, new genres, and to hit 100 books. I have yet to hit 100 books. I feel like I was so close in like 2016 and 2018. I think I've hit like 80 to 90 books. I have yet to go over like the 70 like milestone for reading books in general. So in 2025, that's like another milestone just for me. I want to read and hit 100 books because I feel like I've been so not very good in not forcing myself, but to read in general, like only reading what I think I will like. I just want to read more in general, just new genres. I know I've said this so many times, but the genre I really want to read more from is literary fiction, contemporary fiction, speculative fiction, all that. So there you have it. There you go. That is just a little quick update and all the books for this tentative TBR end of the year tag. So please let me know down below what books you're hoping to read and finish by the end of the year, and I'll have all my socials and Patreon linked down below as well. But with that being said, thank you so much for watching everyone, and I'll see you all soon with a new video.